The Memphis Grizzlies have tied their Western Conference Semifinal series with the Golden State Warriors behind 47 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists from Ja Morant. Man, I got a very simple question for you. Is Ja the best player in this series at this moment?
He's not, but he's setting himself to possibly be. The thing is that when you're going up against a team that has Steph Curry, unless you're talking about Giannis, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, there's a very select few that you could say are better than Steph Curry. And although Ja has been playing absolutely electric in this series so far, I'm not willing to give him that title yet, especially because even though Ja won and he took all the limelight, Steph Curry still had 27 points and almost a triple-double.
Right.
So Steph is still playing absolutely unbelievable. This is still, in my opinion, I think Golden State's series to lose, especially after getting home court advantage and taking that away from Memphis. But Ja is absolutely on his way. It's going to be super exciting to see how this pans out, but he's not there yet for me.
Yeah, I agree for the most part. I think it's hard. We can't just dismiss Steph Curry with what he's accomplished, and especially with how he's looked so far through the postseason, even 2 games of this series. But I will say this. Ja Morant is a different dude when his 3 ball is falling. He hit 4 in game 1. He hit 5 in game 2 after only hitting 4 the entire series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And he had 47, 8, and 8. I mentioned at the top, 47, 8, and 8, and basically a de facto must-win game. You mentioned the Warriors took home court in game 1. You can't go down 0-2 at home to the Golden State Warriors and have to win 4 of the next 5. That's a death sentence. So Ja showed up when he needed to, and again, through 2 games of this series, Ja has 81 points. Steph and Klay have a combined 78 points through 2 games of this series. So obviously Ja is balling. His ability to contort his body and finish around the rim at any angle, his ability to make free throws late in games. And again, what I mentioned, when his 3 ball is falling, he is arguably the best player in this series, arguably a top 10, 15-ish player in the NBA. And obviously, go ahead, what's up?
I like how you mentioned the 3 ball because that was his biggest knock in that first round series is people were starting to already compare him to Westbrook in the sense of if you don't have that outside shot, you're just going to be a regular season guy. Way too early to be saying anything like that. But it shows that as soon as you open that up and you make a defender have to cover you outside of that 3-point line, he's too athletic and too strong and too good to have a defender stay in his face. He's going to get to the hole. And the other thing is his defense as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy that's averaging, almost like a steal and a block a game so far in the playoffs. What he does defensively is super exciting also.
And he can still be better defensively, no doubt. There's still a lot of room for improvement on that side of the court for him. But, why do we even look at Steph Curry and these other superstars in the light that we do? It's because they bring it in the clutch situations. And Ja Morant is proving to be one of those guys. He scored the last 15 points for Memphis in the 4th quarter to close that game out. And he's just been him. Simply put, he's the 3rd player now in NBA history with multiple 45-point playoff games. The other 2 guys, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. That's some pretty elite company right there. And obviously Ja and his team, Ja's arrived, and his team is the youngest NBA team to make it to the semifinal round, and they're there largely because of Ja Morant. So again, Steph Curry is Steph Curry. He's going to get, the best player label in just about every series until there's a reason not to give him to him. But Ja Morant is right on his heels. Another performance like game 2, a couple more like that. I think it's more than fair to say that Ja Morant has arrived as, being labeled as the best player in the series with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and even Jordan Poole now too.
But I mean, it's one of the steps you have to take if you're trying to be that next superstar. Ja's doing it. Get to the 2nd round of the playoffs. Done. Get to the conference finals is the next step, and Golden State's going to give them everything they have.
Yeah, and again, this is Ja's first time in the conference semifinals, but this is not his first time balling in the playoffs. If you remember, he dropped at least one 40 ball against the Utah Jazz in the previous postseason. So again, this is not necessarily new for Ja. But who do you like to win this series though? Give me a winner and how many games?
I still think it's Golden State as of right now. I think this series is going 7.
Yeah.
I fully expect Memphis to be able to pull one off, maybe at against Golden State at home in Golden State. I just think Golden State has too much talent. I still think that they're the better overall team, and when it comes down to it, I just think they're more prepared at this moment. But it's going to be exciting. I don't doubt that Memphis could pull it off, but I still have the Warriors as my favorites.
Yeah, I think the Warriors still win this series in 6 games. I think the Grizzlies get one more. I honestly think I love Ja Morant. Obviously, I was just spoke super glowingly of him.
Yes.
I love, his fire, some of his antics, gritting, in game 1 as Desmond Bane splashes a 3 early in that game, talking a little mess to Steph Curry after game 2. I think that was a mistake, though, that latter, talking mess to Steph Curry as they're both walking off the court. I think Steph, and again, I mentioned Klay earlier. Klay has not played well.
No, he's not.
Through 2 games of this series, particularly in game 2, he was pretty bad, especially from the field. Had a late turnover that kind of dashed the Warriors' chances of a comeback late in that game. So I expect him to play better the rest of the way. I expect Steph to have another 1 or 2 massive games in this series. But again, if Ja Morant continues to play high, look how he played in game 2, this could go the distance. But I think the Warriors, their experience is gonna win out over a very, very young Memphis Grizzlies team. But they're coming. They're coming nonetheless. Can't wait to see how this series, the rest of the NBA playoffs, kind of shake out. Let us know in the comments who's the best player in this series and who's winning this series and in how many games. But for Scott Proctor and Matt Morris right here, we'll catch you on the next episode of Simple Questions.